Hello, kia ora. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. This is Super Rugby Trans-Tasman, the stupidest competition on the planet. And this is Game 1, Round 2. The Hurricanes versus the Rebels. So, the Hurricanes were at home in front of a largely empty stadium against the Rebels. The crowd seems to be noticeably smaller than when the Hurricanes were playing other New Zealand teams. But anyway, the game starts. You were expecting the Rebels to probably going to come back and do a little bit better than they did last week. However, Hurricanes is ranked last in the New Zealand competition. So technically, this is an easier game than last week for the Rebels. But the Hurricanes have some pretty good players. Lumape, Geordie Barrett, the Freak Barrett, all pretty good players. And the Hurricanes had a massive win over the Task last week, but they definitely had some defensive holes that was exploited by the Waratahs last week as well. So it was not a perfect performance by the Hurricanes. Anyway, the game starts. The Hurricanes were putting a lot of pressure on the Rebels, and the Rebels were... It looked like Hurricanes were basically just outclassing the Rebels for the first 15 minutes. There was Hurricanes just basically attacking inside the Rebels 22 again and again and again and causing penalties. And every time they had a penalty, instead of taking for points, they just went for the line-out. So I think there was 4 line-outs within the Rebels 22 for the Hurricanes, and the Rebels were able to hold off. Very luckily hold off, and in some cases giving away penalties. Eventually, the referee says enough is enough. The Rebels were punished with a yellow card after repeatedly giving away penalty inside their own 22. The referee's a little bit shaky this game at the start. At least there was a few missed penalties and a few wrong calls, but that was really besides the point, right? Anyway, so the Rebels were finally penalized with the yellow card, and Hurricanes once again tried to score, and just the maul wasn't really working. There was just little handling errors here and there for the Hurricanes, and which resulted that they, despite having repeated penalties and about 15 minutes of pressure inside the Rebels 22, the Hurricanes were not able to score. Okay, and then finally, it looked like the Rebels were making their way out, getting themselves out of trouble. They're about 40 meters out of their own try line, so making their way towards halfway. A little bit of play, a pinpoint, the Rebels were playing. They just trying to spread the ball out wide, and it was a pass from the Rebels, I think, center to the winger, and it wasn't really a bad pass or anything. This was a pinpoint accurate pass, and it was picked off, intercepted, should I say, by the man himself, Julian Savea. Now, okay, the Hurricanes definitely did the DNA test and made sure that this is the real Savea, because that was spectacular intercept. The accuracy of that pass and the margin of room that he had to work with to get in there and cut off, intercept that pass was really tight window. And he was able to step in, take the pass, runs 40 meters down the line, try time for the All Blacks. Great. Julian Savea. Man, he looked good. He's catching up to be one of the highest try scorers of all time for the Hurricanes. He's getting close there. And to think that he was away for a few years, imagine if he had stayed and played for the Hurricanes, he would easily made the top for highest try scorer for the Hurricanes team. But man, that was pinpoint accurate from Savea. Beautiful intercept. Try time, Hurricane. First try. And it literally, out of nowhere, it just all that pressure, all that effort Hurricanes put in for the first 15 minutes resulted in no points. And Savea came in, put the hammer down, try time. Beautiful try. And right away, the Rebels were able to get back. Literally from the kickoff, the Rebels managed to get a full-on penalty right in front of the goalpost. And this is where the commentators were talking about as well. They're like, are they going to take the points or are they going to try to go for a try? Sure enough, Rebels decided to go for the 3 in typical Rebels fashion, right? Typical Rebels loser mentality. Let's take the 3 points. Despite the fact that this competition is redundant and if you don't score tries, you're not going to be able to get anywhere near the top of the competition. It's just like, it's just the way the competition is constructed. By the way, Super Rugby Trans-Tasman is super poorly constructed. How could the final just be the top 2 teams? The finals should be the top team from New Zealand versus the top team from Australia. It's not even a fair competition. New Zealand teams have easier opponents to get to the top. Let's guarantee the New Zealand final. And you literally lost every viewer in Australia for having a New Zealand only final because the way you constructed the tournament made it easier for New Zealand teams to get there. It's so stupid. But anyway, before I go off on a tangent, on a rant, on the stupidity of New Zealand rugby and rugby Australia, this is literally why you are running out of money. You're going broke because the basic things of organizing a basic tournament, you have failed to do so. Something that a 12-year-old kid could see and organize appropriately, and you have failed to do so. You have failed to organize it in a way that would have maximized your viewership. And not only maximize your viewership, but made the competition actually make sense. You failed to do the most basic things to make the competition right. And you wonder why you're going out of business. Anyway, I'll talk about that in another video maybe. Jordie Barrett was really on point with all his kicks. Converts the try. I got so carried away a bit. So Rebels gets the conversion. Jordie Barrett got the conversion on the try. And then, literally a minute later, from the Rebels getting the 3 points, a minute later, the Hurricanes retaliates with 7. So the Rebels' tackling was non-existent. It was really, really poor this game. It was around 70% tackle completion rate. So Lumapi breaks 2 tackles. He offloads into his inside support. And this was literally from the halfway point. His inside support runs a bit, throws it to the outside support. The receiver of the ball was Proctor. And Proctor ran 40 meters, scores the second try for the Hurricanes. 1 minute later from Rebels conversion. From Rebels penalty kick. Right? So Hurricanes retaliates with another 7. And that's basically the story of the game. The Rebels were not able to put any pressure on Hurricanes, and Hurricanes were just being able to score seemingly from a lack of Melbourne defense. So going halftime, that's basically the score. 14 points to 3. And at halftime, there was an interview. The interview, I think, I was like the Rebels coach. The interviewer was like, "Yeah, are you guys happy that you're staying in touch in the game?" And the Rebels coach was just literally like, not really, but sure, whatever you said. I wouldn't call 14 points to 3 being in touch of the game, right? But the interviewer was just basically rubbing it in how bad the Rebels were performing. Second half starts. The Rebels did come out with a bit of fire, and they did look like they were gonna potentially cause an upset. So second half starts. 6 minutes in. The Rebels had a bunch of really, really nice attacks, and this is the first time the Rebels actually look like they're doing something really well. It was just hard straight running, and then getting quick ball, straight running, quick ball. Eventually, they got really close. Joe Powell did a kind of a dummy to the open side, and then he quickly switched the ball back to the blind side, and the Wells was there. Quick hands to Wells on the wing, slides himself through the gap, just inside the touchline. First try to the Rebels. And Tamura missed the conversion. Tamura missed every conversion in this game. And it was quite important as well, considering if the Rebels wanted to catch up to the Hurricanes. The conversions were really, really important. And Tamura was just, I don't know, pretty poor. So a few minutes later, it looked like the Hurricanes were able to score right back at against the Rebels. So Hurricanes, again, the Rebels' defense were... There was a few balls. There was a few times where the Hurricanes almost scored this game. So this is one of them, where the Hurricanes player, number 11, he got really close. There was like a break. He got really close to try. He got tackled. He reaches out to place the try. He reaches out and then puts the ball down short. Like literally, it would be like an inch short on the try. He reaches out and it's still short. And he looked at it. He's like, it's not on line. He brings the ball back and tries to place the ball back in play. And then the Hurricanes got the ball back, but eventually they lost the ball and there was no try. It was pretty funny. He literally reached out, placed the ball like he scored a try, and he looked up and he saw the try line still like an inch away. So he brings the ball back in and tried to release it back on his own side. So that was really funny. Oh, there was another time in the first half with the Hurricanes guy. There was like, I think it was the number 8 actually. He ran up, he did a chip kick over the top along the sideline, and the ball was just bouncing, and rolls into the end zone just near the try line, right? And literally, this is one of the weirdest bounce I have ever seen in my life. Okay, imagine this is a try line here. Okay, the ball. This is my finger here is the ball. The ball kind of like bounces along the try line, right? And then as he goes over, bounces along the sideline. As he goes over the try line, imagine as soon as he goes over the try line, it takes an awkward bounce, almost like it hits something. It goes vertically sideways this way, and out. Like, I have never seen it. Like, the ball literally took a 90-degree turn and went straight out. As soon as he went over the try line, he went straight out. He was bouncing along the sideline perfectly, with a lot of momentum, and as soon as he went over the try line, he took a 90-degree angle bounce, somehow hit, it literally looked like it hit something on the ground, and it just went, whoop, took a 90-degree turn, and went straight out. And if that didn't happen, Hurricanes would have scored a try there, so, because there was no one chasing from the Rebels, the Hurricane kicker was right there, and the ball just literally took a 90-degree angle, and went out on the side. It was super, super weird. One of the weirdest things I've seen. Anyway, despite that missed try, a few minutes later, the man himself, Julian Savea, scores his second try of the game. And this time was like the Rebels were working their way out of their own try line, and then the Hurricanes managed to turn over the ball on the just outside the Rebels 22 with a rock, and they get the ball, quickly spun the ball out wide to Savea, and he just like ran straight through a big open gap. Try time. I mean, the Hurricanes definitely made sure the DNA test came back positive that this is the real Julian Savea before they signed him, because that looked easy and good. Once again, second try for Julian Savea. Man, look good. Really, I really like seeing Savea scoring tries, because he was one of the greatest All Blacks wingers of all time. And it's good to like. It's just every time he scores, I just get like nostalgia, and it's good. So and then at 59th minute, a few minutes later, the Rebels is trying to build themselves back in again. There was a penalty against Hurricanes, so Powell, the number 9 from Rebels, took a quick tap instead of taking for a penalty for a line out. He took a quick tap, which led to a lot of like Hurricanes scrambling back, conceding a lot of territory to the Rebels, and then eventually Magne goes over for a try for Rebels. And once again, there was it was like really simple play from the Rebels, just couple of passes, just building pressure, got really close to try line, and there was a skip pass out wide to Magne, who scores the second try for the Rebels. And Tamura missed the conversion once again. Really, really disappointing for Tamura. And then at 5th minute, the Hurricanes strikes back. I think at one point, before this, the Rebels look like they're about to score another try. Corin Betty looked like he's about to score his first try of the season for the Rebels. He got ball on the wing and he was running in. He reached out and as he's getting tackled, and his foot went into touch before they put the ball down. So that was like the closest Corin Betty has gotten to score a try this season. Okay, this year. And then the Hurricanes got the 4th try from Goosen. So Hurricanes were building a lot of pressure. There was repeated penalties against Rebels. Hurricanes opted for a line out. Line out comes in. Couple quick balls later, there was just the Rebels were just all sucked in near the breakdown to try to defend the pressure. The ball comes back out. A beautiful crossfield kick into the try zone, and Goosen runs in, catches the ball beautifully in the breadbasket. No one close to him to challenge this. Beautifully catches the ball inside the try, the end zone. All he had to do is put the ball down. Try time. 4th try for the Hurricanes at 65th minute. And then going forward, the Rebels had a period before this where they kind of they're stepping up. I think around this point, the Rebels substitutions came on. And the Rebels just looked like they went downhill again. The tackles were just not being made. Every time Hurricanes got the ball, there was just missed tackles everywhere. And then at the 72th minute, the Hurricanes from their own try line went coast to coast to score a try, their 5th try and the bonus point try, which is they really need to make themselves into the final. So it started with Cam Wildkard, I think it's the rookie. He took a quick tap, and then he passed the ball to Lumape. Lumape played really, really well in this game. I saw every time he got the ball, he was just threatening to break the line. He was so good. It's a shame that New Zealand Rugby is going to lose him to, I think he's going to Stade de France next year. Man, Lumape was absolutely, he's absolutely one of the greatest centers in the world, I think. He made another huge run, and then eventually he gets the ball to Usafu Amua, who goes over for the 5th and bonus point try for the Hurricanes. And Jordy Barrett converts this one as well. And this was... Oh, sorry, not Jordy Barrett. There was a replacement Liga gets the conversion for the Hurricanes. So, that was pretty much a perfect kicking for Hurricanes. All 5 tries were converted, whilst Tamura failed to convert either of the Rebels' tries. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the game. Good win for the Hurricanes in this absolutely stupid of a competition. Why do I even bother watching sometimes, I wonder. The Australian teams had no chance of making the finals after the first week. There's not a single Australian team could possibly make the finals. Just the fact that the New Zealand teams has to play easier opponents. But anyway, I don't want to drag on. I'll make another video about that in another time. But thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys a bit later.